All right, for those of you that have been following the channel, one, sorry for putting out a video on a Sunday. I just have so much to talk about on Monday, and I don't want to go triple upload on you. But I've been following, so channel deletions, suspensions, channel strikes have been coming out fast and furious. We saw Bannings' channel get hit, Tim Pool's channel get hit, and a whole slew of others in the changes Wizards YouTube has put into place with things like CBD oil, WeedTube, casino streamers, stuff like this. And in every case, it seems to me like there are people coming out and just flat out lying on why they were struck or why the policy is different. A lot of times the advertisers are just outright lying, and I need to deliver the truth as I see it because there's a lot of misinformation out there. So the fact of the matter is, so I want to talk about the oil stuff first. What is it? Well, it's basically marketed as a cure-all, very, very, very close, in my opinion, to snake oil. Why can I say this? Well, I bought some from a sponsor who reached out to me because I wanted to try it before I would ever advertise it. I tried it for almost 2 months. I spent like $120 on the stuff, and it did almost nothing. What I can say is I felt like maybe I slept better, but not in a way that was easily testable. There were nights I would take it. There were nights I wouldn't take it. I didn't really notice a big difference. Definitely didn't help my back out at all in a way that 3 Advil would. Now, of course, there are stories, especially with like seizures, stuff like that, where this stuff works, okay? So there are isolated things that this oil product is good for. However, it's widely marketed as a cure-all for everything from cancer to seizures to aches and pains and that is absurd. It's a vanity supplement. You go out to California, you can get it put in your shake. It is nowhere near as powerful as marketing will tell you, and this is the primary reason YouTube doesn't like it. It's very, very, very close to a drug, like a pharmaceutical, that's being marketed by everyday people. There's not a lot of scientific evidence behind it. Now, in the States, a lot of people will say, well, it's legal, it's legal. No, it's still a Schedule 1 as far as I know, pharmaceutical. And yes, you can get it via the mail if you want. If you live in a state where it is legal, you can pick it up at your local dispensary. But I assure you, in my experience, it is nothing like what a lot of these snake oil salespeople are telling you. It works for some people, but there's no regulation on it, and people in desperate situations are being sold this stuff. It's very expensive, very cheap to make, byproduct. They're basically selling you the leftovers of their business, and that's why they can afford to pay $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 for an ad on a channel. Okay, so this is not an attack on CBD. It is an attack on dishonest advertising techniques and sales companies that are coming out and lying to your face. There are companies, now I really, really hate to give this company any press, but I can't. You know what? Maybe I can get around it. Let's get around it here. So I want to show you, this is not, so what we have is the Natural Hemp Oil channel on YouTube. You can see it has been suspended. You can see Natural Healthy CBD, their channel has been suspended. This is a YouTube policy, okay? Then, let me switch back because I'm a dick like that, and I don't like to give crazy people attention when I can, or when I can avoid it, I mean. Just to show you how dishonest these people are. There we go. Let me just cut that out. Okay, so, this is an annoying cat that continually jumps up here. I'm sorry for Colt. He is just kind of needy today. And I don't have a lot of time to keep fighting with him here. This is a company that sells this oil, okay, stating on June 1st, we don't use Google AdWords. We're just that good. Wrong. You don't use Google AdWords because it's explicitly forbidden. Okay? Here we go. Right there. Okay? If you go to Google AdWords, and just so you know, when you run ads, this is what I do for a living, so don't fuck with me about AdWords. Okay? So when you search something on Google or on Bing or whatever, and you see the ads along the top or the side rail, these are AdWords or Ad Center for Bing, right? Microsoft Ad Center. And there are a lot of things you cannot advertise. There is a reason all these people came flying onto YouTube, because YouTubers who weren't educated on it don't know how to check this stuff out. Now, my insiders at YouTube inform me, though, that this YouTube has its own policy, which is even if something is allowed to be advertised on AdWords, it's the same company, YouTube and AdWords. Even if something is allowed on AdWords, it may not be allowed on YouTube, and vice versa. Because in video ads, interstitial ads, or native ads, where we just talk about it, this is not something that's done on a network. It's negotiated outside of the space. That's why they have a different policy. So as you can see, they have a policy against these oil products because you see all these YouTube channels suspended. This video isn't about whether or not I agree with it. Okay. I've already said, look, obviously there are cases where it works, especially with some people with seizures, but the problem is it is marketed as a cure-all. And that is why it needs to be regulated, in my opinion. People need to get informed, yes, but it's the same as any vanity supplement. Every few years there's some new thing that everybody's putting in their shakes and they're talking about how amazing they feel. And it just isn't that. And it needs to be looked at differently than everything else. Now, it's not a state thing. It's not a federal thing. It's a YouTube thing, okay? So what does all this mean? Well, there's been many YouTube channels coming out there saying, I was unfairly suspended. Same with the casino stuff. I have independently confirmed, I've independently confirmed with YouTube that this is against their policies and that they have their own policy set outside of AdWords. I also, and you're going to have to take my word for this because the only way I could prove it is burning my source, but I will tell you this. At least one of the companies advertising this product on YouTube knew as early as April or early May that they had advertised, they had sponsored channels that they were sponsoring that were getting strikes due to their product. They were sending those questions in private to YouTube while publicly saying they had no idea and that this was an attack on free speech and that this was an attack on their products. They knew all along that people they were sponsoring were getting strikes because the oil product is forbidden by YouTube. They publicly denied this and pretended like it was something else and continued to sponsor YouTubers, accepting no responsibility for their YouTube channels getting deleted. Natural Healthy Hemp Oil is one of the companies that channels led to terminations, that advertisements led to terminations, like Bannings and strikes against Tim Pool. When you have a strike on your account and you rely on live streaming, for example, for revenue, or you're like Bannings and you pay your bills with your channel, they took no responsibility. They issued no apologies. They accepted none of it. Even though, as we saw in an email that I covered, the Natural Healthy Company, the company I bought this stuff from, purposely dodged, in my opinion, answering Bannings when he asked them if this stuff was okay to advertise on YouTube. So what does it all mean? Look, I know for a fact there are very honest companies out there that sell this product. I know for a fact that it also works for some group of people. The problem is there's no easy way to tell who's a snake oil salesman and who is somebody who's honest. There's no easy way to know if this oil product is going to work for you. And it's being marketed as if it's a catch-all, fix-all for everybody in the space. So regardless of what any YouTuber tells you, everybody knows at this point that the oil space is dead, that WeedTube is basically dead. And these companies that are running advertisements that are reaching out to people still, I still get emails. I got emails from this company even after exposing them. They continue to try and sponsor YouTube channels, looking for people who are unaware of the situation, willing to burn their channels to get the exposure because they don't care. There's no short amount of YouTubers who will take $1,000 or $2,000 to advertise a product. And while they bear some responsibility there, right, to do the research, I don't believe that these channels are purposely trying to push snake oil. They're just selling ad space on their channel, right? So I don't exactly hold it against anyone if they advertised it, but I can speak to my experience with it. Pretty much did nothing for me. I even tried some of the dog treats for my dog. Didn't do anything for him. I'm sure there's going to be a million people in the comments talking about how it's a miracle cure. If you want to take anybody's credibility, I bought the stuff. I tried the stuff. It did nothing. I'm not saying that it doesn't work for anybody. I'm saying that it doesn't work for everybody. And I'm saying it doesn't work for everything. And this is why it's forbidden on YouTube. And you have advertisers of this product out there just blatantly lying to the public. Meanwhile, in back channels, emailing YouTube directly, trying to figure out why, admitting, yeah, I don't know if it was because of these strikes or because of our product, but I'm just trying to really figure it out. And it's just scummy. If this person wasn't so hell-bent on attention, I'd mention him, but I just don't want to give him the satisfaction. So there it is. Sorry, it was kind of rambly. The cat got in my way and kind of derailed me a little bit. But yes, this oil product is banned on AdWords. It is banned on YouTube. I highly doubt this video will receive monetization, but I don't care. The truth is more important. Same thing with these casino streamers. Now I've seen all sorts of, we're going to do FTC this and FTC that. Look, YouTube is a private business. We can bitch about it all we want, but they have their own policies that may or may not mirror AdWords, Google AdWords, and it's our responsibility as YouTubers to do the research. And if we're not going to do the research, we really can't be so open to advertising stuff like this that we know for a fact is probably in a gray area.